What is up, DeAmez Ross, first UCF athlete on the podcast. So happy to have you on today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be up here.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. And I love to start off the episodes of What's Up with asking my guests what they're currently on or super into at the moment, whether it's a new spot on campus, a life hack you just figured out, a food, something serious or silly. So what is DeAmez all about right now?
Yeah, so there's this great place called La Granja, and it's Venezuelan food. It is so good. Like, that is something that when we have a long day, I'm gonna go there and get a huge steak with rice and beans, and it's so good.
That is so good. How close is that to like where you live right now?
It's like 4 minutes from the field, so really close. So
So do you go straight from the field, or you like take a sec and then you go? You're like, I'm just
no,
hitting it.
straight from the field.
That's great. I feel like everybody has that one place that you find after a long practice. You're just like, yep, I need that now.
Yes.
I love it. Well, you've played a lot of baseball in your life and a lot of baseball in Florida, which is where you're from. Started at Florida State, now you're at UCF. But I did notice that your real story started in Japan where you were born. Can you explain that?
Yes, so that's like my fun fact when I tell people they never believe me, but that's like my fun fact that I was actually born in Yokosuka, Japan, and my dad played 5 years in Japan and 5 years in Korea for baseball, and that's where I was born at. So it's amazing. I wish I would have stayed there longer. I came back to the States when I was 3 years old, but I see all my baby pictures, and we're just in Japan and saw the Japanese writing and all that, so it's awesome.
Such a cool fun fact. And I always struggled with that growing up, the like two truths and a lie, or like, what's your fun fact? And I always feel like that was something that now you have an awesome fun fact. Have you been back to Japan since?
No, but that is somewhere where I really want to go back to. Hopefully this summer, but I really want to go.
That'd be really special. And you mentioned your dad's pro baseball career. I'm wondering, with you playing college baseball right now, how did his career maybe and still does have an influence on your desire to play baseball?
Yeah, no, he really showed me and taught. I love him so much. My dad's amazing. He really showed me the love for baseball when I was a young age. When we were in Japan, like he had literally a tee, and we had like a blanket over this net, and I would just hit off the tee in like the living room. And man, he played college baseball at Norfolk State University. It's in Virginia Beach. It was a HBCU, and man, he taught me the work ethic. He really taught me the right skills that I needed to learn to be successful at this game of baseball. And the things he wished he would have knew sooner in his career, I got to learn it when I was young. So that was an honor and a blessing from him.
Wow, so cool just to be able to like share in that experience with your dad as well. I know I played lacrosse and my dad did not play lacrosse, but he would go in the backyard and try to, throw with me. And it was awesome and it's so fun. But I can just imagine like that's special for me. But to play the same exact sport as you has got to be so cool. And you mentioned the swinging the bat with the blanket in the living room when you were younger, but I'm wondering when you were a little bit older, maybe is there a drill that you did with him or you still do that you've still taken into your game today?
Yeah, so when I still work out with him every time I get a chance to go back home, and we just go off the tee and go back to the basics, and he just watches my swing because he knows my swing from when I was little all the way till now. He saw all the changes and what works and what doesn't work, and we just go on the tee and we just talk about hitting, talk about mechanics, talk about just life. So it's really good father and son bonding time.
While you're on the baseball mechanics side, if I ever am in a softball league or a wiffle ball league and I'm up to bat, give me like one mechanical detail I should be paying attention to with my swing.
Yeah, I would just say very, very basic is just be nice and loose. You can't be super tensed up when you hit because you're not gonna have the quickest bat speed. So just be nice and loose. Really make sure you're seeing the ball. Like that's the number one thing in baseball is seeing the ball. If you can't see the ball, you can't hit it. And then the next thing would be just try and hit a line drive right back up the middle. And that's all I would tell you.
Super easy, right? Just a line
Yeah.
drive. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to listen back to this if I do get in the position to do that. But I'm curious because you talked about mechanics, and I know
Mhm.
there's different parts of athletes' lives when maybe they do change their swing or the way that they throw or just something so minute, but it could really open up something huge for their game. Has there
Mhm.
been a moment throughout your baseball career when maybe you made one of those small changes and it really changed everything for you?
Yeah, I would say the biggest change I made was definitely my senior year of high school. I went to my dad trains me, but my dad's I would go to North Carolina and train with my dad's former teammate when he was in college. His name's Mel Waring, and he's the hitting guru. And I'll go stay with him for 3 days, and we changed my whole swing up. We made sure my swing was more clean in the zone. It was I wasn't doing extra stuff that I needed to. And that senior year, I had one of the best senior high schools that I had, and that really transitioned to my college career from freshman year to now.
Wow, that's important too, especially coming into college when the stakes are even higher. And I think it takes a level of humility as athletes too to be
Mhm,
able to change your ways. Because, if it's working one way, you don't really want to or think that you need to make it better. But it seems
mhm.
like baseball had been a dream and a passion of yours since you can remember. But when did you first realize, hey, I might have a shot at taking this to the next level and playing in college?
Yeah, I would say, um, my dad, he really just taught me just having true confidence, like really just, first off putting trust and faith in the Lord, but also just understanding that the hard work that you're doing is going to pay off eventually. And man, we would be up at 4 a.m. and it was just so much stories of just all the hard work that we put into it. But definitely I would say my freshman year of college, I committed to Florida State in 8th grade. It was super, super early, and from 8th grade on, I was like, you know what, I have what it takes. But I would truly say my freshman year of college, it's my first time in college, so I'm going up against juniors and seniors, and I'm like 18, and they're 22, and they're 23 year olds, and I'm like,
Or they're 26 and they've got a COVID year and a redshirt year
yeah, and
and
I'm
like
like, I'm
everything.
like, I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are so much more experienced. Like they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, right? But I just really just went back to the basics and just believed in myself and knew what I can bring to the table. And I was able to start my freshman year at Florida State. It was the first, freshman to start center field and lead off in like over 8 years, I believe. So very, 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 very awesome experience.
That is so great that you said that because it is daunting as a freshman, whether you have confidence or you don't. Like, it's intimidating, right? Because it's a new
Mhm.
environment and you're competing against people who you probably looked up to. Like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm on the same field as this person, right?
Mhm.
When you are in those moments of maybe not fear, might not be the right word, but maybe just a little bit intimidated. What
Mhm.
did you say to yourself specifically, or maybe who said something to you that really helped you be able to earn that starting role?
Yeah, I would just say I always told myself like I belong here. I think that was this thing I would wake up and say like, I belong here. They are just the same as me. They wake up in the morning. They when they get to the field, they put on the same cleats that I put on. They grab the same bat and like they put the same glove. And just understanding that just because they're older, or just because they have more experience, or just because they have more college innings or college at bats than me, doesn't mean that I can't compete with them, and that came back to, like, I belong in this field. I know the hard work that I put in, and I know that either if I fail or if I have success, I know that I still believe in myself, and I know that I can compete at all levels with anybody.
And you had the opportunity to go to the college World Series, and your
Mhm.
former teammate James Tibbs is actually one of the first athletes on this show, which is just kind of a full circle and
Really?
cool connection. Yeah. So, do you mind
Yes.
just describing what that was like being at Omaha?
Man, Omaha is an amazing experience. I think every college baseball player should have the opportunity to. It's so hard to get there, but
You get a win, and you get a
it's
win, and you get a
yeah,
win.
but the experience is so amazing. Just, the environment, just being in Omaha, Nebraska, like it's literally just all college baseball. Like it's literally what the town is for. Like they just live and breathe about Omaha and College World Series. And I think the coolest thing that I remember is when we leave our hotel, we're all dressed, about to head to the field, and this is the first time I don't know what to expect. We get there, we walk out the doors. hundreds of FSU fans just, screaming, banging on drums, like just encouraging us. I'm like, wow, we're just leaving the hotel. Like imagine when we get to the field when it's packed out, right? And I think it was so amazing. It's really, really amazing experience.
Must have been so fun. And I think moments like that early on in your career are so instrumental in giving you extra motivation and extra hunger to get back to that moment and to get back to that experience. And just when you look back at your time at FSU, is there one thing maybe that you learned or experienced that now you've brought into your time at UCF?
Yeah, I would definitely say my faith. My faith was a big thing at Florida State. And actually that you mentioned that James Tibbs, he really was like my mentor and he really took me underneath his wing and we did Bible studies for our team and Tibbs ran it and he really encouraged me to come and we would always talk about the word and what we learned and he was something that was a big role model and a big mentor for me when I was a freshman. And also they have FCA they have it here at UCF and they have it at FSU. And I just remember the Pastor Reggie, he told me like he was like, "Hey, come to FCA." And I didn't know what FCA was, and I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll go I'll go when I have time." And then he saw me again the next week. And he was like, "Hey, we missed you. You got to come." And I said, "All right, I'll come." And I like to keep my word if I said something. So I went, and gave an amazing sermon. He just gave an amazing sermon about living. It was basically about living in the world and living on the things that are heavenly bound. And I just realized that I was just living in the world and from that day on, I didn't miss a single FCA. So definitely my faith transition from Florida State to UCF.
It's pretty incredible the impact that FCA and team Bible study and
Mhm.
groups like Athletes in Action can have on college athletes' experience. And just hearing that about the impact that your former teammate James Tibbs had on you, what does that do for you as an athlete when you're able to have a connection with a teammate that goes beyond just locker buddies and teammates on the field, but really like doing life with each other as believers?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a huge impact. It really helped me just being a freshman at Florida State. Just there's so much school, baseball, obviously traveling, a bunch of fans. You don't have like your parents. Like you can do literally whatever you want. It really allowed me to really hone in and really focus on things that are important in life, which is my faith and really just helped me um, separate baseball and my life, who DeAmez is really was the biggest thing that impact has on athletes. And that's something that I in my career before I'm done with college, I want to install. And I've been blessed to be the vice president of UCF's FCA, and me and my roommate Andrew Williamson, we run Bible study at UCF, and that's just something that I want that impacted me. So I want to keep that tradition and impact the next generation and my other younger teammates.
I love to hear just the trickle down effect, really, of your leadership role and coming in as a younger athlete and really being discipled and pulled into FCA at your former school, and now to see and hear about what you're doing at UCF. What's fun about going to those meetings too? Because I know it's not all just like sitting there and like being serious. I know there's probably some games, some food. If athletes are listening to this, what can they expect if they come to one of your meetings?
Oh my gosh, FCA at UCF is amazing. We have Pastor Kirby. He's an amazing pastor. He really knows the word. But when you come, you're going to get the Lord's chicken. We always say it, Chick-fil-A. So we come and we
The
have
Lord's chicken.
the Lord's
I'd never
chicken.
heard that one. That's good.
Yeah, so we have Chick-fil-A for everybody that comes. We have like 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, all the sauces you can think of, and we call it the Lord's Chicken, and we kind of use that, to get people to come because we have long days and we start at like 7:30 p.m. So we want to be able for you to get like a snack, or if you're hungry, you can eat it. And so we do that, and then we lead into a game, and the games are always fun. We're either doing like rock paper scissors teams or like cup challenge or like trivia, and it's just a good time. And then after that, we lead into worship, and then Pastor Kirby gives his sermon. So it's something that is so much fun, and being athletes and especially baseball, we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we don't our Sunday's literally filled with baseball, so we don't have time to, go to church in the morning or do these things. So FCA on Monday really allows everyone to be able to, get the word in and be in that community.
Your baseball schedule is wild, especially in
Yeah.
season. I can't even imagine the amount of school you miss, let alone getting to do things outside of school, like going to FCA meetings or just going to church, something that you're passionate about and want to prioritize. But take me back to that decision making process when you did make the move, because more now than ever, athletes are in the transfer portal. And I've had siblings that have gone through it and just seen how awesome it is, but also chaotic. So, how did that
Yeah.
decision making process go down?
Yeah, it's very stressful. It's a lot. I would just say for me, it was just for better opportunities. And I remember, man, I decided to transfer, and it was a tough decision because I had, like I said, faith was my big thing, and I had this amazing community that was at FSU. But I knew that, just going back on my faith and trusting the Lord with all my heart and trusting His plans and not my own plans, I knew that it was the right decision. And I hit the portal, and we get a bunch of phone calls, and it's you got to pick from. There's 5 schools I had to pick from, and trying to figure out like what school is the best for me, what school is the best for my education, for baseball. Like those are all things you have to consider, and it's super stressful. But I had the privilege, or I had the honor that my freshman year coach, Rich Wallace, he got the head coaching job at UCF, and he was someone I loved, man. He really took me underneath his wing when I was a freshman at FSU, and I was like, man, I want to play for him. And he called me, and was like, hey, you want to be a Knight? And I said, yes, sir. And that's really how it went.
It's exciting. And now looking at where you are now, and you have more baseball to come for sure, but do you have a highlight moment from your time at UCF so far on the field?
Yeah, I would definitely say highlight would definitely be was would beating UF. I think that's just always instilled in me, just at being at FSU. Just we always want to beat UF, and UF came to us at UCF, and we had the second biggest crowd to come in all of school history. Yeah, it was amazing, and just that atmosphere, and just beating them, and a UCF uniform was truly an amazing time. And if you go to our games, we have the outfield. I play the outfield, so we had 4 rows of people watching the game. It was amazing, and that was probably my best time at like best moment.
It sounds incredible, and just the second most in school history has got to be a lot of people. And I'm curious. I always, whenever I'm at baseball games or softball games, I'm always wondering, okay, how do you stay locked in when you're in the outfield? So, what are you saying to your teammates? What are you doing while you're out there if it's a little less active?
Yeah, no, there's it's can be a little boring in the outfield. I won't lie, it can be very boring.
Hey,
But
we appreciate the honesty. We appreciate the
yeah,
honesty. It's that's
yeah.
a good thing, kind of, right?
Yeah, but we just know that we got to be focused by pitch. So when one pitch happens, you got to race it, crow hop, go to the next pitch, and just that's how I stay focused. And when it's not so busy, I think the biggest thing for me is just communicating with my outfielders. Just talking to my roommate Andrew Rubenson. He plays right field, so we always talk, and I'm like, hey, like, remember this situation, that situation, the wind's blowing here, the sun's over here, like, make sure we're just talking and communicating. That helps, me stay locked in.
Okay, well, now people know when they watch you in the outfield, and maybe it's a little slow. They know what you're doing to stay
Mhm.
locked in. And when I think about college, college is a time I believe, because of how intense college athletics is, when you can either run to God when it gets hard, or you can run away from God when it gets hard.
Yeah.
So when you look at your college experience so far, is there a specific moment that sticks out when you said, "Hey, I don't have a choice, but I got to lean on the Lord right now"?
Yeah, I would definitely say, this is what really changed my whole life was, freshman year. I said I started right for the I started and made I started as a freshman, and I remember 2 weeks into the season doing really, really good, batting over 400, and then we played TCU, and I went to go for a bunt, and the pitcher threw it at me, and it hit my finger, and I broke my finger. It was out for a month. And this was the first time ever I ever had an injury or I was away from the game of baseball. Man, the Lord just opened up my eyes, just showing me that like I can't put my value in baseball because just like anything in this world, it can just be taken away just like that. And baseball was gone in a blink of an eye, and I just felt so lost. I didn't know who I was. I was just wasn't happy, and and then I went back to FCA and talked to Pastor Reggie, and he just told me to get in my word and really truly just trust in the Lord. And it was a process. It took like a week, and man, I learned so much I grew deeper in my faith and my love for the Lord and understanding that, through this adversity, through these trials, that I was gonna, grow in my faith and learn something about myself, which was not to put my identity in baseball. And it was I'm so glad I that happened to me because I wouldn't change it for the world, and I became a better teammate, a better person. I wasn't just all about me, me, me. Like because I was injured, I would make sure I got my glove for my teammate, or if someone shook out, I was always talking to them, trying to make them laugh, like have a joke. And I realized that it opened my eyes, just understanding that this game of baseball can be taken away just like that. So be grateful for every moment you put your cleats on, for every moment you get to be in the lineup, or just put the uniform on in general. And that truly changed my heart and the way I saw about baseball from my freshman year to now, my senior year.
That's incredible encouragement about how you can still be a great teammate and use your gift of getting to be on the team to
Mhm,
support your team during that time for you. And I love what you said just about being there for others and still being a part of it, right? Because I think it's
mhm,
such a tendency for athletes to want to shut down and isolate and be all about you, which you're going to do everything in your power to get back on the field. But
mhm,
in that moment, it's really this reflection of like, okay, now how can I still be useful to my team? And I love
mhm.
that encouragement. Now that you're, an upperclassman for this team, if you had a younger athlete come up to you and ask for one piece of advice to handle the busyness of college baseball and the monster that it is while still getting to lead things like FCA and going to church and having fun and going to what was the restaurant, the Venezuelan restaurant you
Look
called? What was it?
Groundhog. Look
Okay,
Ground.
right? Like how what advice would you give that athlete of how to navigate all of it and not go in this kind of horse blinders, right? For just baseball and that's it.
Yes. No, I would definitely say it's hard, man. I'm learned from my freshman year to now my senior year. It's just about planning out my days, really. And because we play baseball, we have our baseball schedule, but I figured out planning out my days as such as in having a morning routine and a night routine really, really helped me be more organized and really allowed me to separate baseball, school life, and social life, right? And so for like my morning routine before, I would just sleep in, and whenever we had lifts in the morning, I would just wake up like 30 minutes before and just, go to lift that from there. But now, I'm sorry, I took, my morning routine more serious, and every morning I wake up at least an hour and a half before I need to be at the field, or 2 hours, and I just read my word and really pray and cook a breakfast. I think that's something that's very important. Make sure you're eating because we can just I did it a lot where I was like, oh, I'll just grab like a PB&J at the field and keep it going, but it will not sustain you. You will be exhausted and really, will not be able to get through the day. So definitely just having a good morning and a night routine.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about nutrition, but I have heard rumors that you're the stretch king. Is that what you are? You gotta explain this to me? I've heard king of stretching, I've heard stretch king. Give us the scoop on that.
Yeah, so my nickname is Mr. Stretch. That's what a lot of baseball players know me as, is Mr. Stretch, and I got that nickname through travel ball. I played for FTB Philly Scout team, and we were the number one team in travel baseball during my junior year, and we had a camera crew follow us around. Like all our games were like on YouTube, And I would always be stretching because my dad, he always talked about the importance of stretching. Like if you're gonna work out hard, if you're gonna do all these extra workouts, you got to make sure that you're stretched and like you're loose and you're ready to be healthy for all these workouts that we're doing, intense workouts. And so I'll just be stretching, and all my other teammates, they would just be like, "Nah, we're not stretching." So I'll just be out in right field by myself and just be me and the camera, and I would just stretch and talk to the camera. And I guess the fans loved it, and they would just call me Mr. Stretch, Mr. Stretch. And I was like, all right, well, I guess that's my nickname now.
That is incredible, and I love how it's been a thing for a while now. So I guess I have to ask the king of stretching, what's like the best stretch I should be doing for okay, let's think about like my daily routine. I'm not playing baseball. So let's get specific for you. If I'm doing my homework on a computer, or I'm doing my work, or I'm recording a podcast and I'm sitting at my desk, give us
Yes.
one stretch for people who might be in the working world like me or might be just doing their homework at night on a laptop.
Yeah, for the laptop, I can say I do this because I have schoolwork and I have all online classes, so I'm always at my desk on my computer. And I would definitely say doing the Cobra, like the Cobra stretch. That one's good. It stretches out like your core, your lower back. I do that, and then I also do like I don't know how to explain them. I think they're called scorpions, but you like lay down and then
Yes,
you
those
kick.
are legit.
Yes, and then you kick your legs to like behind you to the left and to the right, and it just stretches out your back. And I think those are two important things because we're always like so hunched over, but like gotta open up you know, your
I
torso.
like it. All right, dude. The scorpion is one I haven't done in a minute, and I need to get back to that. I remember during some of my 5 a.m. workouts, that was what our trainer always started with over the
Mhm.
summer. And sometimes I just get stuck in the scorpion. You're just like, okay, I could go back to sleep, just laying like this. But now I
Uh-huh.
love it. Had to ask the king of stretching himself about that. But tell me a little bit more about this UCF team. What is this group of guys like this year?
Man, we're a group that's hungrier than ever. Last year we didn't even make the Big 12 tournament, and that's something that us upperclassmen and returners going into this 2026 season, we remember just not being able to go to make the Big 12 tournament, which is very, not like UCF baseball, and that's something that we told ourselves would never happen again. And that's kind of like the culture and the message we brought along to all the new guys that we have on the team is that, this is we're gonna make our mark, and teams doubt us and people overlook us, but we know what we have in this room. We know that when we play together and we truly have each other's backs and want the best for each other, man, we're gonna play more cohesive, and we're gonna shock a lot of teams and shock the world really.
Well, I'm excited to see UCF and be cheering you all on this season. And I got to ask one last question about your walk up song for this season. What will it be?
Oh, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Last year I
You don't
had
have to reveal it if it's not out yet. You don't have to reveal it.
yeah, it's not out yet, but just know if anyone comes to the UCF games, you're gonna be shocked.
Okay, in a good way. Is this
And
something that does it match your personality? Is what I should ask.
yes, it does match my personality. Yes.
There we go. All right. Well, DeAmez, I'm so excited to find out what that song will be, cheer your team on this season, and really just share your story with not only young baseball players, but all athletes and people, because I felt encouraged by your story and I'm super excited to cheer you on.
Thank you so much.